Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Dawn Chorus. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, it's on the internet for free, and if you want to support them, go to their Patreon. Anyways, on the last Let's Play, we were kiss blocked. Well, before we were kiss blocked by a certain Tanuki. And he decided to make us play Never Have I Ever, which, yeah, we asked some questions. One about, have you ever, snuggled with anyone naked, which I didn't think it was, specifically a sex thing, but, I guess it is. And everyone in the room took a drink, I think. I mean, everyone blushed, at least. And then, we asked if, anyone thought about drinking their own supply? In a Bear Grylls way? I'm just gonna look at if I'm thinking the right guy. Bear Grylls. So his first name is Bear. Okay, yeah, he's the piss drinking guy. Barack Obama. Huh. And Lake took a drink, and the bad person was, I think they took a drink, but it was someone else. But anyways, lights went out. So yeah, good times. Though I felt a bit bad, in which case in IRL I did some things, and now I feel actually very happy. It's not water sports related. Anyways, Lake straightens himself out on the chair and looks at us expectantly. They all sit down and take chairs and sit down on the chairs and couch facing him. Some expectantly, some hesitantly. The light of the fireplace illuminates him from the side, giving his features a sharp look, even though it doesn't hear. So, this is a story about how I heard how my life got turned upside down. Something Belair. I've heard of a guy at uni, which stands for university. He's friends with a group that goes often to the fjord trips. And this happened to him 3 years ago. 3 years ago, he took a trip, and then that's pretty much the end of the story. When looking in line for places to stay around these parts for an early winter trip, they found a neat-looking cabin that was dirt cheap. They booked it right away, happy they found a deal like that. Students are always broke, and prices around here are even more ridiculous than the South. So they booked a cabin for the four of them, chatted about it over email with the other, who seemed to be pretty nice. The person that's renting, I guess, and got ready for their trip. They arrived at the town by car in the afternoon and met with the owner of the cabin. Then an older Bernese mountain dog gentleman. I was reading Beatrice. Sorry, it's kind of hard to read after such a day. It was a good day though. He gave them the directions and the key to the cabin and wished them a thrilling stay. After that, they drove straight to the cabin. It was further from the town than they thought, and they drove through frozen plains and forests for almost half an hour. But then they arrived and saw the picturesque meadow where the cabin was. They thought that it was worth coming. Cabin itself looked nice too, and it was nice. It was simple wooden structure, but it had a certain charm to it. Granted, this isn't what Lake would say, in this thing, but I'm going with the thing. It was only October, but the weather was already cold that year, and everything was covered in thick layered of snow, just like now, because, Arctic Circle. They entered the cabin and found it neat and cozy, perfect for a short stay. It was equipped with a kitchenette, 3 beds, a couch, a table, and a few stairs. There were even, little trinkets and odds and ends, that sort of thing. Also plants which they needed to take care of. So, pretty much everything they needed. There was also a stack of plain wax candles and matches on the table, and a few paintings were hanging on the walls. One of them, showing a forest in winter, unsettled them for some reason, because I don't bloody know. Why would you become unsettled by a forest in winter when you live in Norway? Jesus. The more they looked at it, the more they felt something in the woods stared back at them. Like, I don't know, maybe an animal or something. A bird? They ended up taking the painting down and hiding it behind the couch for time being, and unpacked because they're weird like that. Afterwards, they put their winter attire and went for a walk around the area, just to see if there was anything interesting there. There wasn't. But as they walked around the woods, they felt the same unsettling presence that stared at them from the painting. It was naked people. Scared, they retreated back to the cabin. As soon as they were back in, though, the door was locked securely behind them. They started to laugh hard, from the tension, and at themselves too. How silly was that, to spook themselves over some old painting, but then when they looked at that painting, they were in the painting themselves. It was already getting late and dark, so they decided to stay in for that day. They wouldn't be bored for sure. They were out there rowdy, partying a bunch, and they brought speakers and a lot of booze with them. I don't know why I'm Irish. So they spent the whole rest of the day there, and half the night partying, drinking, singing, and having some great time. By great time, I mean one night stands. Well, a couple of them. When they woke up the next day, it was already afternoon. Like, holy shit, you guys need to, deal with your drinking a bit better. Like, seriously. This isn't Mines Week. The day was cloudy and it must have been snowing all night. As they looked outside, they saw everything, including the car, was covered in plowy white mounds. As the other was busy preparing food, one of them got dressed, because, you need to put some clothes on, in winter clothes, and went out to clear the snow from the car. But as she opened the door, she saw a terrifying sight. Nobody was driving the car because it was parked. The whole front door and frame had deep, regular scratches. It was made by blades of monstrous claws. Who could have done this? In a world full of, anthropomorphic creatures who might be drunk and, have big claws. As she looked down, she saw the paw prints already covered by fresh snow, but they seemed huge, like somebody that had a huge... We're moving on. She walked around the cabin and saw familiar markings on one window frame and more paw prints leading to the woods. Terrified, she hurried inside, closed the door behind her. Thanking the skies above that she locked the door and the windows in the previous night. I just got pretty spooked after seeing her shaking on breakfast. They led her to the couch and let her rest for a short while before she recounted what she saw outside. Also, you might need to cancel these so we don't get, bamboozled. The others thought she was trying to trick them, but when she opened the door, they weren't laughing anymore. Terrified, they gathered around the table. Wait, what? Okay, I guess I saw that. Gathered on the table and trying to make sense of it. Was the burglar trying to break in and steal the stuff? Or some psycho wanted to murder them? And why did they leave so many marks? The young lady was the best course of action was to call the owner of the cabin. They pulled the straws. The same girl that went outside on the morning was asked to call in. But of course, there was no reception because they had AT&T. Spooked, they agreed to grab the more valuable of their belongings and ride back to town. Packing only took a short while. They left all the mess behind and got into the car. Riding back to the road they were sure to be safe until they got stuck in the snow. Just another 5 minutes of riding from the cabin. One of them wanted to continue on pause, feet. But finally, they all agreed it was too late and cold for that, and the town was too far away. If they were driving for half an hour. Because I'm yawning. Walking would make it much longer. Instead, they decided to go back to the cabin, try calling the police, or at least some people who, weren't so shooty. At least they hoped that the cabin owner would pay a visit. He walked back in silence, too terrified to try any small talk. Along the way, they regularly checked their reception, but there was still none. By the time they got back, it was already dark, and only the full moon. I just yawning too much. The full moon illuminated the snow-covered meadow. Also, how do you know it's a meadow if it's covered in snow? Usually meadows are, grassy areas, a bit sparse trees. Are talking about a place that doesn't have trees and is covered in snow? Anyways, the game was just as they left it. The guys were still on the door and their frames, but it looked like no one or nothing tried to get inside while they were out. Apparently it was a bear, but not Bjorn, because, there are two different kinds of furries, And the cabin once again, and locked the door securely behind, and checked all the windows. It was under the bed. Didn't have any weapons, but they thought that as long as they were awake, no one would try to break in again. There's still no reception, but they also decided to stay until morning. Once it got brighter and a bit warm outside, try to wipe it down. In the meantime, to stay awake and alert, decided to play party games. Like spin the bottle and never ever, just like this. They started to spin the bottle and played it for a while. But once the questions were a bit too personal, they switched never ever. Okay, I honestly didn't read that. Late at night, after a few hours of playing, the last candle burned out and the darkness filled the room. Also, they got really bored when the last light came out and they decided to tell spooky stories because a lion was too gay. Anyways, after they all fell silent, sorry, yawn. And that's the last they heard Heavy's episode. And that's when they heard Heavy's side. Lake takes a dramatic pause. I'm engrossed in the story, I swear. I can hear you pause myself. You are gullible. Unless it's a whole story, I glance at the corridor and see nothing but oppressive darkness. Darkness is oppressive. You guys are cats. You guys can see it knit. Come on, you're not humans. Preston was close to Rune, sitting next to me. Oh, he wanted to get railed by him, but kind of like, well, we're gonna skip after what I was gonna say. He's all shivering. Really? Rune's scared of spooky stories. Takes his phone out of his pocket and turns on the torch, which means light in American. The only source of light left was their phones, but they were too terrified to move. Finally, one of them grabbed the phone and pointed it at the window. It was the caretaker, who was like, dude, what the fuck's going on? There's a bear here. Lake lifts his phone dramatically and shines the lights around the room. And behind the window, they saw some just creepy dude who hasn't shaved. They saw Muti something. Behind the window, where Lake was looking, there was a towering figure standing and looking inside. I heard a loud thud in the room. Glancing to the right, I see Lake fall from the chair that he was in. So wait, is this not a sexy story? This is a horror story? What? Oh, so how's my eyes? A bit too... I'll look at someone downward. Where I can react, Rune grabs my arm and pulls me towards the corridor. I'm a bit too bewildered to even register what's going on, and start turning towards him. His electrician! As we step into the darkness, Rune stops and clings to me. The hell just happened? Dark, I can't see anything. Because, I'm a herbivore and we weren't involved to do that. Can you lead us to my room? Rune's voice is shaky and panicked. I decide not to argue and take him there first. It's just 2 doors away. I hope Rune didn't lock the room. I press the handle and the door opens. Inside it is illuminated only by the moonlight, but it's much better than the complete oppressive darkness of the corridor. As we enter the room together, something ran straight into us, almost knocked us over. Guys? Yeah, that's us. Lake closes the door behind him and sits down on the floor, leaning on it. Mita Vitula, I think my life just got shortened by a few years. Like, seriously, there was some old guy outside who didn't shave and probably smelled a little bit. Rune, you can stop clinging to me. Okay, seriously, come on. He's Rune, and he's clinging to you. Let him cling to you. Or not, I really don't mind. Right. Sorry. I just don't like the darkness. Like, really, really don't like the darkness. I thought that deer, see well in the dark. Racist. Well, not me. So, you see what I saw? I'm not mad, right? Well, you saw some guy out there who, could be a caretaker. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm not sure about this situation. I'd be like, hey guy, you alright? Like, I'm not sure if we're supposed to invite you because I don't own this place, but do you want to come inside? Are you an electrician or what? Anyways, no, there was definitely someone peeking inside. It doesn't have to mean anything bad though. I think we just got into this story a bit too much and got ourselves spooked over nothing. Well, so what's our time? 19 minutes. We don't seem too far. It's not like a usual Let's Play where I'm like, well, I start talking and that's the end of this Let's Play. Lake springs to his paws, looking at us in horror. What if they got the power to murder us? Like, don't be silly. Things like that don't happen. Hey, I think I hear footsteps outside. Yoon whimpers with a panicked voice, and we fall silent and creeping dead, paralyzing us, dread. I hear them too, just outside the door. They're heavy, deliberate, and slow. Like most murderous things, being slow. Suddenly, they stop. Just to pick up again after a few seconds. Only I notice Rune has been holding on to me the whole time, his paw clutching on my shirt front. He releases the grip slowly and takes a step backward, embarrassed. Guys, I think I owe you an apology. We're all just scared of cats. Especially, me and Dark, who are cats. Oops, sorry. For what? During the spin the bottle, I think I drank too much. Like 2 entire beers? Who drinks that much? Not like Americans. I mean, Americans only drink 1 bottle. I'm sorry. I had no idea I'd get drunk that quickly. It's only been 2 beers. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Now of old times. Just, if we die today, I'd feel really stupid about it. Getting drunk and being murdered by some kind of crazy werewolf person who is a werewolf and a murderer, and also some wild animal wolf. Like, no one's dying today, hopefully. I mean, people can die at any moment. Brain aneurysm, for one thing. Or a snow car accident. I wonder if they ever looked into that. I mean, like manga artists. It's just like, boy, that came out of nowhere. Anyways, there's only guys outside looking at us, even though it looked there's literally nothing for miles around, and just when the power went out. It's probably someone from the staff fixing it. And that's actually why they were staring us through the window. Like, for fuck's sake, stop panicking. The worst is that he's making Rune and me panic too. Let's just stand still. Take a few deep breaths, okay? Rune nods. Rune nods silent. Rune nods silent. Lake lets out a sound between confirmation and groan, resting his head on my shoulder. His hag is still shaking a bit, so I put my arm around his shoulder and pull him closer, letting him lean on me. I enjoyed the hugs. Anyways, slowly his shivering subsides, and he puts his arm around me too. Rune, are you feeling better? Yeah, better. I'm still starting to wonder why we didn't use our phones to light up the way, because we are not particularly smart, or we didn't plug them in. Me and Lake see well enough in this much light. Well, fair enough, I do pee well. I go to the bathroom and get to see it well. So, like, how are humans? Because, like, cats and stuff can see very well at night. And I can see very well at night. How do humans see? Apparently humans, not so much. And then there's, like, herbivores. Like, I can walk around the house with all the blinds closed at night. I don't know what's illuminating the inside of the house, but I can see. Right. Vision isn't that bad either, but I don't feel well in the dark. Sorry, I panicked too. I was worried that someone was after my venison. In not a sexy way. His voice sounds more confident and collected now. It's reassuring to see him back to his usual self. I got carried away a bit, didn't we? By the way, what happened to the rest? Oh right, there was everybody else. We got separated. That was a very bad decision. I don't hear anything happening outside. Do we go check on them? No. Well, I'm not a scaredy cat, pussycat. I think it's a good idea. I mean, what are we supposed to do? Stay here and wait for the power to come back? Sounds perfect to me. Apparently you don't live in Texas. Oh, come on. We would at least look for the rest. Send a message to Jorgen. Could you? And I'll message Miko. But if the power's out, that doesn't work, right? Looks at my eyes. Now Miko is looking for his phone right now. But hopefully Lake will have some luck with the organ at least. I mean, it'd have to be extremely local-ish for not to work. I mean, granted, I've been at sea and I couldn't see land, but it still worked. Not too well, but still. Well, I can smell it. Sorry, that's a personal thing. Anyways, and we should go regardless, just to keep the torches on Varun. Lake groans again, but doesn't argue further. Wait a few minutes, looking for our screens, to no avail. You didn't get any reply, did you? No, nothing. I mean, the power's out. I don't think you'd have reception, right? Same here. So, are we going? Oh, right, there's the whole light of this fireplace. There's no one here. Just the empty bottles and a lingering smell of alcohol. I would feel you'd have to spill it well to smell it well, but I don't know. No one's peeking through the windows anymore, thankfully. Lake, that tickles. Stop breathing down my neck. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Lake moves a bit further from me, but only a bit. Can you hear them somewhere? Give me a second. I think I hear something, because, you know, my big frickin' ears. Maybe in the lobby? I can check that out. Maybe someone from the staff will be there now. With some luck, they'll even be alive. Like, are you actually spooked or are you making fun of us? Both? I mean, both. We peek into the lobby. It's lit up by the moonlight. There was a lot of plants here for some reason. Not lit up enough for Rune, so we stand between me and Lake, with his eyes closed, holding my tail. I mean, I guess if you're... I don't know. Sometimes I go through the darkness with my eyes closed because I don't know. In the end, Lake forced us to go quietly and without torches to remain unseen. I didn't have the willpower to argue, and in the end, that makes it a bit more fun and scary. There's nothing here. Are you sure you heard something, Rune? I'm not sure of anything now. Maybe the noise came from the locker room. Suddenly, I think it was the panther. Some moved inside the lobby. I tense up and take a step back into the corridor, almost falling backwards on Rune. Oh, woo. Whoa, what's up? Shh, there's someone there. Not to mention, the wolf-like figure was huge. No, it looked like a panther. And you think they didn't see us? Hello? Is anyone there? What the hell are you guys doing? Crazy kids. Stranger voice is raspy, but friendly. As if they wanted to hurt us, it wouldn't call out to us, right? I don't know, I'm not a murdery person. Likely aren't from the staff though. Maybe it's some kind of technician? Oh. Okay. Never mind. It's the guy. The worker guy, I guess. But I guess that's a good time to call it, since it's a new person. Yes. Who are you? I live in the cabin nearby. Oh, this power. I came to see if you lost it too. Yeah, good time to call it. So anyways, end of this Let's Play. So please comment, guys. I like comments, so much you like, dislike, tips, tricks, otherwise. If you like my YouTube and would like to see it grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out videos that grow. And please spend your ammo so control the pet population. And if you like this game, it's free on, the internet, of course. And if you want to support them, go their Patreon. And I think you get it slightly earlier if you go to Patreon. I think, but I'm not sure. Yeah, you'll have to check. And until next time, let's lay me, GamerWolfSix, have done course a spooky game for Halloween, which I don't actually know if this would come out for Halloween, but this will come out. Let's see, June, July, August, September, October. It could come around into Halloween. Who knows? Thanks and see ya.